What's up guys, my name is Natalie and welcome to my Nook of Novels. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul for all of the books that I have obtained since basically the beginning of this year. Now if you're wondering why I have a rose in my hair, I have a rose so I put it in my hair. It's just kind of there and it tried to fall. We can't be having that. So I honestly don't even remember the order that I got any of these in, to be honest with you. Some of these were gifted to me from different people. Some of these I just kind of bought because there was a day where I was like, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of books, and that's what I did. So now I have more books. So the first thing on here is actually a trilogy, and it is the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy. So I have Crazy Rich Asians, China Rich Girlfriend, and Rich People Problems. I almost did that in the wrong order. I don't really know much about this trilogy other than they're about Asians who are rich and possibly crazy. It kind of gives me Count of Monte Cristo vibes, only in the sense that I know that these people are insanely rich and basically can do whatever they want because they have so much money. And that's like the thing that stuck out to me the most when I was reading the Count of Monte Cristo was he just had so much money that literally nobody could stop him from doing anything. And I just thought that was really interesting to read about, and that was one of my favorite parts of that book. So that's kind of why I'm so intrigued to read these. I just love reading about rich people who have power because they have money. Again, that's really all that I know about these, but I do know that they have a lot of hype, and I'm just excited to see what the hype is about, to see if I agree with the hype and if I like these. And also, I just love these covers for some reason. I know that they're really simple and there's not much happening on them, but they just make me happy. I love the colors, the bright colors, and the simplicity, but also gorgeousness. You know, they just bring me joy. The next thing on here is another trilogy, and that is the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and I loved it so much, and I just will not be content until I read more V.E. Schwab. I need more of her books in my life. This trilogy has A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light. And again, I don't know much about these. I just know that they are super hyped, super well loved. They're by V.E. Schwab, which makes me so happy. And what I do know about them is there's different Londons, like there's Red London and Grey London, I think is the other one, and maybe more, but there's a person who can travel between the Londons, and I don't know the difference between them. They're different Londons, presumably with different magic things. Maybe there's like magic in one and no magic in another, or something like that. I'm not really sure. There's magic involved. It's a fantasy trilogy. I was about to say something really dumb. I was about to say I'm not sure if it's like a high fantasy or an urban fantasy, but obviously it takes place in London, so it's an urban fantasy. Big brain. That's really the extent of my knowledge on these. I like to go into a lot of books not knowing much anyway, so I'm perfectly okay with not knowing much about basically most of these books. I'm really excited to get to them because, again, I just loved The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue so much because I loved her writing style, and I'm just so excited to see how that translates into fantasy, and I'm so excited to see what I think of these books and if I love them just as much as I did The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Next up is Prey by, I think, Michael Crichton is how you say his name. And I just realized that this has deckled edges, which makes me want to die. I lost my train of thought because I had to go do a thing because the video that I'm currently uploading at 11:30 p.m. was finishing. This book, oh, that has deckled edges. So this is about these particles that have become sentient. They're acting sentient or something along those lines. And basically they attack people, and the people are like, that's not good. We should stop it. And yeah, there's a story. That's basically all that I know, but I'm really excited for it. My dad said that he read it and really enjoyed it, so that is exciting. Hopefully I enjoy it as much or possibly more than he did. I basically haven't heard about this book anywhere, but I'm really interested to see what I think of it and if maybe it should be more hyped than it is. We shall see. And this one is actually on my March TBR, so hopefully I read it by the end of March. I just struggled so much picking these books up. I'm not sure why. But anyway, the next two things are the first two books of the Skyward trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, which are Skyward and Starsight. I was gonna go ahead and get Cytonic, which is the third book, but it's not out in paperback yet, which is really sad, and I want them all to match, so I did not get that yet. I'm gonna wait until the paperback comes out, which is all the way in November, I think, which is so far away, but it's fine. I, again, do not know very much about these at all. They are a sci-fi, which is interesting because Brandon Sanderson mostly writes adult fantasy books, which I've heard about so much. Everyone seems to love his adult fantasy books, and a lot of people seem to love this trilogy as well. I think it's about a girl who, her dad was a spaceship pilot person and was infamous because he abandoned his crew or something like that. Maybe there was a war or something and he fled, and she is trying to also become a pilot, and it's very difficult for her because she's following in his path and everyone is like, oh, you're the daughter of that bad dude, you're also bad, but she's not, or so we think. Maybe she actually is bad. You never know. I'll find out when I read this book, which is hopefully soon, but again, I have a million books on my TBR. And the last things on here are Orange Volumes 1 and 2, the complete collection. These are mangas, which is really interesting because I have not read a manga before, but I'm super excited to do that. Again, I don't know a ton about these. I think it has to do with a person going back in time and giving a letter to their past self. And I think that they're trying to prevent someone from committing suicide, but I'm not 100% sure. But that sounds really, really interesting. I love depressing contemporaries. I feel like I've said that a million times on my channel, but depressing contemporaries are my absolute favorite things. I feel like I've heard a lot about this one, but not a ton about the second volume, but I know that I'm gonna love this, so that's why I picked up the second one already, and I just basically continue every series that I read for the most part, and I feel like if I read the first book and I don't already have the next books in the series, then I'm not gonna pick it up very soon. So yeah, I just go ahead and buy the next books in the series when I get the first one. The art style seems cute, and I'm excited. It's definitely going to be weird trying to adjust to reading it backwards. Those are all of the books that I am hauling today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to, and hit the notification bell if you would like to see the other videos that I post on Mondays. And I will have a link to my Bookstagram and Goodreads in the description for you guys if you would like to check out either of those. Let me know in the comments down below what books you guys have acquired recently, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!